Joining us tonight, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. Tom, good to have you with us. Your thoughts about the performance of Robert Mueller today?
Well, I don't know what reputation he had that deserved any credence till now, but it's no longer there. He's really destroyed whatever reputation he's had with this political attack on the president, turning the rule of law on its head, suggesting the president is guilty, and because he can't prove otherwise, we should conclude that he should be impeached. It's an abuse of power, once again, by the Mueller special counsel and him personally. You know, he had some plausible deniability. There was this gargantuan report out there. We knew he had hired all these anti-Trumpers, right. But he came out and personally endorsed this abusive attack on the president, right. Doubling down on the corruption from the report. You know, and I think highly of Attorney General Barr, but I think he's been too deferential to the Mueller special counsel. He should have shut this report down from even before it was even written, and it's been abuse piled on top of abuse targeting President Trump. And this Mr. Mueller, he needs to be investigated as well. The Office of Professional Responsibility should be asking, why did this Justice Department prosecutor come out and suggest wrongdoing by an innocent person? Without any foundation, because there is no foundation. If there was a foundation, there would have been indictments or a request for an indictment or highlighting that. Outrageous.
Turning our judicial system on its head, saying that you have to prove your innocence, in effect, particularly if you're the President of the United States. Is it a coincidence that James Comey, the dirty cop, wrote an op-ed that was published just a day ahead of the Mueller remarks today? Doesn't that strike you as odd, coincidental, perhaps?
Well, I'm trying to figure out who's worse in terms of ethics, Comey or Mueller, and they're two peas in the same. They're two peas in a pod when it comes to attacking President Trump. I have some questions. You know, I do hope Mr. Mueller testifies. I know some don't want to see him testify. He should be asked, why is it, despite his conflicts, did he accept this appointment? Why is it, despite the knowing that Comey stole FBI records and then leaked them illegally to get him appointed, he continued to participate in that corrupt process? What about all these biased Democrat and anti-Trump, pro-Hillary Clinton donors he hired? When did he know there was no collusion? Right. When did he know there was no collusion? And as you point out, why didn't he shut it down then?
And this relationship between James Comey and Robert Mueller, many years in its duration, but do you suppose it persisted even as the special counsel and the fired former FBI director? Could they have possibly been colluding? Should there be an investigation of that collusion? Because there are too many coincidences, it seems to me.
Well, we've asked for documents about that collusion. Remember, Mr. Mueller allowed Mr. Comey to testify despite his being in the middle of this massive obstruction investigation. We thought that was curious. Yeah. And this is why there needs to be, in the least, an internal ethics investigation of the way the Mueller operation proceeded and its interaction with some of these witnesses. You know, Mr. Mueller, for instance, Strzok was caught red-handed writing these anti-Trump texts, these pro-Hillary Clinton texts. Strzok testified. Mueller didn't ask him one question about whether or not his anti-Trump hatred influenced the investigation. Mueller was disinterested in that. Isn't that curious?
It is curious, and after today, there are more questions about the witch hunt, as the president first characterized it, which I think is an apt description of what this turned out to be. Mueller says that charging the president, he at least tries to intimate that charging the president was never an option. So why did he persist at all? He didn't, by the way. There were no co-conspirators indicted. So why did he persist at all? And if there are no co-conspirators and there is no evidence, he said he carried out an independent criminal investigation, then why in the world did he have any kind of reservation about saying clearly no evidence whatsoever of obstruction or collusion?
Well, try to follow his. I suggest your listeners go and read what he said. It's full of legal higgle-piggle, just like the argle-bargle in his report about this obstruction. He's all over the place. Yeah, Mr. Barr has testified that Mueller did not say the Justice Department policy about
Yes,
saying that the can't be indicted it guided his decision making here.
Right.
So now he's changed his tune, and it's all, I think he's worried about the momentum of impeachment be kept moving forward. This was about a political intervention in our system has any Justice Department employees ever done.
By the way, what we're hearing from the Democrats as of right now is that they're frustrated with the Mueller performance and the content of that performance, which obviously many Democrats, as you heard earlier in this broadcast, think is inadequate to support their enthusiasm for impeachment. Tom, as always, great to have you with us. Thanks so much. Tom Fitton.
You're welcome.